Today I want to talk about something that I find to be quite fascinating. But if you live in the US, you've probably noticed that fast food and other restaurants that used to be known for providing cheap, quick meals have kind of gotten more and more expensive to the point that I'm European, so this isn't something I experience. I can still go to Burger King and get like three meals for under $20. Um, and I'm not talking about small meals. I'm talking about three big meals. And then I eat two of them. But if you're in America, you've kind of noticed that $20 will probably net you a menu, maybe a little bit some extra on the side. But things are getting more and more expensive, and it's becoming more and more ridiculous, and more people are complaining about it. And the question to ask is why, right? Why is this the case? And I've been wondering that myself. Because once you actually look at the costs of these things, where the way that the retailers sell to these restaurants, it doesn't really make sense that things keep costing more and more and more money, right? So the question that we're gonna be asking today is, what the hell is happening, and why is fast food panicking over higher prices now?
There's been a lot of talk online and in the news about how much fast food prices have gone up over the recent years.
Once home to the dollar menu, prices at the Golden Arches leaving a bad taste in the mouth of consumers who just want value.
Some restaurants are continuing with price hikes, while others are getting desperate with attempts to offer more deals in hopes of increasing traffic.
Restaurants don't cut prices for fun. Did consumers essentially force your hand by being fed up?
Customers are telling us that they're really stretched.
Now, we all know inflation has been rampant since the beginning of 2020 when the pandemic happened.
Grocery prices, in some cases, are falling.
Yep.
Fast food prices are rising, and these CEOs, they know it. They're hearing these complaints.
But what's really going on here?
I don't know if the CEOs are hearing the complaints. I mean, I don't know why they would be, right? Most of these CEOs are incredibly disconnected from real life at this point. And the idea that they don't want the prices to be that high is kind of laughable. Why would you not? Why would you not want the prices to be that high? If the prices are that high, you can, just make more money, right? So yeah, it is quite interesting that rather than just lowering prices, they are trying to just increase the price and then offer other things like, hey, for this big price, you can instead get, you know, this other thing that you don't give a shit about, right?
Are fast food companies trying to pull a fast one on us, price gouging under the cover of inflation?
Fast food
Yes.
places in general, y'all better watch.
And the reason why it's yes is because they increased the prices because the fuel costs went up, and then when the fuel costs went back down, they didn't lower them.
You goddamn ass.
Is this just plain old corporate greed like many have claimed?
It's banker greed.
Who told y'all?
Because a lot of the CEOs that are working at these corporations now were put there by the banks or people that are connected to the banks. It's all about the banks.
Was that good to be charging that much for y'all food?
Or is there more to this story?
Fast food used to mean inexpensive.
Going viral, the Big Mac meal priced at $18.
Raw. Like, I can look it up right here, right? There's a McDonald's less than like 20 minutes walk from my house. So like 5 minutes in a car. So McDonald's, Portugal, Big Mac. Let me see. Big Mac menu. Scroll down. We even get the thing here. Like, see, you can see right here. This many calories, which is a little bit too high for a fucking sandwich, but hey, it's like 2 patties. It's 27 grams of meat, of protein, 42 grams of carbs. It looks okay. It looks okay here. But what is the price? So I'm gonna actually move this over here because this might ask me some information. And I want to see the price. I can't see the price. Why can't I see the price? Okay, maybe if I specifically look up the thing. Okay, there it is. Maybe if I look up the menu directly. Aha, there it is. Okay, so let me see if I can see the Big Mac. Okay, so $18 in euros would be 1760, right? That's how much a Big Mac meal is worth. Well, here a McMenu Big Mac, 730 euros, which if we transition that to dollars is 747. Y'all are getting robbed.
Dollars at a Connecticut rest stop.
Well, in this video, I'm
gonna say that again. It is, and I'm looking at it here, right here on the website, right? Unfortunately, it's kind of hard for me to tell what the thing is, because it like asks me for a bunch of information instead of just telling me the price. Which, you know, whoever decided that for the website, please commit unemployment. But yeah, you guys are getting robbed over there in America.
try to
That
get to
food
the
is not
bottom
worth
of
that
it.
much.
Wikipedia defines price gouging as a pejorative term used to refer to the practice of increasing the prices of goods, services, or commodities to a level much higher than is considered reasonable or fair by some.
It is unreasonable.
This
and
commonly
unfair.
applies to the price increases of basic necessities after natural disasters. Usually this event occurs after a demand or supply shock, like, say, a global pandemic. Harvard Business School says there's no rule for what qualifies as price gouging.
Yes. Price gouging does not have like a specific definition in terms of like legality. It's a term used by the populace. And the reason why it can't really have that that legal definition is because sometimes there will be a situation where that price is fair, you know? If we're in a food crisis and a fuel crisis and all sorts of other things, it would make sense that a Big Mac would be $18 for a meal, right? We are not in any of that. The trade with Ukraine has been resettled, so you're getting the wheat, you're getting the fuel, you're getting all of these things. The price went up and then it didn't go back down. The same thing happened during COVID, where prices in America went up, they literally just shot through the roof, and they did not go back down. Like here in Portugal, there was this restaurant. I say Portugal, like here near my house, there was this restaurant, this sushi restaurant, right? And their prices were at around 13 bucks a meal, 13 euros for like a sushi buffet meal. Good quality, right? Like people with suits would commonly go there. Like it was good sushi. And when the pandemic hit, it immediately went up to 15, then it went up to 16, 17. It now sits, I believe, at 20. I'm looking this up just to make sure, right? Okay, it is now at 20 to 25 euros a meal. The price should have gone down, but it didn't. Right now, they still have very good business because they are easily one of the best sushi restaurants in the area. And in fact, I say one of the best sushi restaurants in the area. Like I know people who have come from Porto to go to this restaurant. That's how good this place is. So it's okay because there's other places that are cheaper, more family focused, and those places have stayed at a much more reasonable, like 14 to 15 bucks a meal. Technically, what this original place that went all the way up in price did was price gouging. But it was okay because the price match the quality of the food. The same cannot be said for McDonald's, right? You're going to McDonald's for a cheap, quick meal. Cheap, quick, and, good tasting, right? These are the three things you expect out of McDonald's. It's no longer cheap. I guarantee it's not quick, because it's not quick anywhere. And it's fucking McDonald's. So, yeah, it tastes okay, but I don't really want to bite into a hamburger sandwich and have it be sweet, right? Not for me.
But it's not an uncommon occurrence.
Yeah.
For example, EpiPen costs and Uber price surges are both examples of price increases that have been considered unfair.
Yes, but the main reason why the Uber prices were able to be increased as much as they did was because everybody was using it during the pandemic, and if everybody's using something, you increase the price of that something. But yeah, it is ridiculous that you pay like $10 extra for a taxi for your coffee, right? It's ridiculous. Oh, and the EpiPen thing is just, it's an American thing, right? Like, I'm not even going to talk about that because a million other people have talked about the maliciousness of healthcare in the US.
But what's the difference between price gouging and inflation? While price gouging is often the result.
Well, one could say that inflation is just price gouging as driven by the government. You could say that very easily. We talked about this before here, and it really, I've said it before. I'm not super well informed on this matter, but I genuinely believe that Norway, I think it was, did it really, really good. Did a really good decision when they arrested a lot of bankers for unfair business practices, and all of a sudden their inflation was under control, their economy began to thrive, and quality of life just shot through the roof.
Result of a business decision, inflation is a general increase in the prices of goods and services over time by the market. And while 40 states across the country have laws in place to ban price gouging, there is currently no federal price gouging prohibition.
Of course not, because the problem with the US isn't capitalism, it's feudal capitalism, right? Where a lot of companies actually own the land through lobbying and through having deals with politicians, and so they can just do whatever the hell they want with damn near no repercussion, because what the hell are you, Mr. Poor Person, who can't afford to buy out a politician, do about it, right?
And this makes it a difficult thing to enforce because so many supply chains are nationwide. And as a result, states face heightened challenges when trying to protect consumers from price gouging. So in my opinion, price gouging is a rather nebulous concept.
It's not. Look, don't say it's a nebulous concept. It's a non-existing legal concept, right? But to say it's nebulous is just malicious. You can, it's on the same tier as saying that, oh, it's a nebulous definition of truth because I didn't lie to you. I just, didn't say the whole truth. You lied. You lied. You lied by omission. But we still call it a lie, right? You can say that it's a nebulous definition, but you're wrong. It's not true. It's not nebulous at all. We all know what price gouging is. We all, here's the thing. Even a fucking chimp has a good understanding of when something is fair. If you give one chimp a banana and another chimp 2 bananas, and you keep doing this constantly, eventually the first chimp is going to kill the second one. Because you're being unfair. So why would humans not understand? Like, this isn't a nebulous concept. Don't do that shit.
It often lacks clear-cut depictions.
No, it doesn't.
And it's not only a practical question, but also a moral one.
Yeah.
However, with this fast food dilemma, it's not just about high prices here. It's also about
unfairly high prices.
Prices that seem disconnected from costs and the actual products themselves. So whether specific fast food companies have engaged in price gouging is up for debate.
No, it's not.
What certainly isn't is how much prices have increased over.
You can't say, oh, it's up for debate, because I don't agree that I'm price gouging. But if everybody else does, it's like, it's not a debate if the only person claiming they did nothing wrong is the person in the wrong. Right? If I jump in the pool and I piss and shit in the pool, and you say, he pissed and shitted in the pool, and I say, no, I didn't, it's not up for debate. The piss and the shit is still in the pool.
Over the years. And the real question then becomes, is it justified? Finance Buzz released a staggering report on fast food prices over the last decade, and it showed some very interesting staggering
Actual inflation, right here. Subway costs 39. All of these others, 50 to 60. These guys, 70 to 80. And then these guys, 100%. You cannot blame inflation. Because of this singular chart, you cannot blame inflation at all. You could say, oh, it was the struggle in Ukraine because of the wheat prices going up. The wheat prices have gone back down. Oh, it was because of the war between Russia and Ukraine with the fuel prices going up. The fuel prices have gone back down. You cannot claim those two things. No. Oh, it's because of COVID, prices went up. COVID has been done, right? We're in 2025. COVID kind of fucking ended in 2020, and we kept it going. Well, not we. America kept it going for 2 more years. So this bullshit, no. None of those excuses go. You are increasing prices to increase prices.
report on fast food prices over the last decade, and it showed some very interesting stats, claiming McDonald's is king when it comes to price hikes over the years, citing a 100% increase to their prices from 2014 to 2024. Now, to understand how we got here, let's just rewind for a second. Fast food in its early days was built on 2 core promises: speed and affordability. Now, with its initial success, it really started to become a symbol of American culture.
Yes, because, American culture is kind of known for the go, 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 go thing. So you kind of want this cheap and fast place where, anybody can eat at.
What the food may have lacked in quality, it ultimately made up with cheaper prices and the convenience of getting it quickly. However, today,
It's like that whole thing, like, that I never understood. Can we get McDonald's? Do you have McDonald's money? That's such an American thing to me because here, can we get McDonald's? Sure, it's half the price of anywhere else.
the same can't be said.
The main
It's not
reason we didn't get McDonald's constantly was because it's unhealthy.
breaking news, but fast food is rarely fast anymore, and it's becoming pretty expensive for what the quality is.
It's becoming motherfucker. Like, it's becoming pretty. We already went over this, right? Like, a Big Mac meal here is less than €7.50, less than $7.50 if you translate it, and in the US it's $18. Get the fuck out of here. It's been expensive. It was expensive in 2014 before they doubled the price.
Now, over the last 2 decades, rising costs have hit the industry hard. Real estate
No, they didn't hit the industry hard. Okay? They hit the customers hard. I guarantee that the rising costs did not come from a necessity.
prices, minimum wage increases, and supply chain inefficiencies started driving up costs.
Oh, and by the way, I do think it's hilarious that you're demanding this much money at fast food places and then you still go, oh, but we can't pay our employees properly. Bullshit.
Add to that the increase in costs of beef, chicken, potatoes, along with paper products,
Bullshit.
and suddenly the simple, cheap burger wasn't so cheap to make anymore. These changes laid the groundwork for the price hikes that we're seeing today, but they only tell part of the story. What's happening now feels different, like something has fundamentally shifted.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you put her on, please?
Dude, this is a Wendy's restaurant.
Kevin. Okay.
But I have to keep it real. It's not just the rise in costs that are part of doing business. It's also factors like increased
Why? And how? Oh, okay. He was making money based off of the Travis Scott meal. Okay, so here's the thing. You cannot claim, because he was getting paid based on how many of those he was sold. Like, they sold him a bit, They gave him a little bit at the start, and then he made more money throughout it. You cannot claim that the other prices are increasing because of this, because this is coming off of one meal, the Travis Scott meal, where he's getting a portion of that meal. The only thing that does is one person goes in to get that meal, and he brings in other people who might not be getting that meal, and so those other people are going to get other menu items. So this type of sponsorship, this type of partnership, whatever you want to call it, this would actually be the sort of thing that you could use to justify lowering prices, not the other way around.
Increases to advertising.
Because if you had to increase the prices because of this, that would mean that this was unprofitable for McDonald's. And I don't believe that it was.
Spend. Ballooning executive.
You see, this is the problem, right? Take one look at this guy and tell me that he gives a fuck about you. He doesn't. This guy shouldn't be making this much money. Seriously, this is the sole reason. They increase the prices so they can buy themselves another yacht. That's it. That's the only reason. They're not increasing prices because, oh, we need to. They're increasing prices because, fuck you, what are you going to do about it?
Compensation packages,
completely different situation.
Along with significant investments into technology. Like,
again, the investments into technology lower prices. They don't increase it, because by investing into technology, you have to pay fewer people.
Mobile apps.
Things become more effective, more efficient, and you make more sales, so you can lower prices. This increases their profit. It doesn't lower them. The only thing that can justify increasing the price of your product is profits lowering, and you need them to go back up. That's it, right? Or you're getting too much demand for not enough supply. It's either one or the other.
For these companies. Oh, and of course, stock buybacks, returning
stock buybacks. The banks. Again. I hate the
billions of
banks.
dollars.
I hate the banks. I hate the banks. I hate the financial system of America. We here in Europe have it under control mostly, but it's such a parasite on the economy. Banks.
To shareholders. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some of the numbers. According to the Federal Reserve's economic data, food away from home, which is the category that includes fast food, this rose roughly 28.5% over the last 5 years. But generally
20, 40, 60, 80 plus 20, 40. So it increased twice as much as everything else.
Overall inflation rose only 24%. Now, at a first glance, these price hikes might seem like a logical reaction.
No. At a first glance, you immediately realize, oh, we're getting fucking robbed.
To the rising costs of inflation. But let's dig a bit deeper. While the cost of doing business has increased, profit margins at many major chains have held steady or even grown. Take McDonald's, for instance. Despite facing higher expenses, their operating margins climbed to nearly 46% in 2023, up from around 41% in.
So the question is, why are they increasing prices that much more if they're making more money?
2019. Now that's not just covering costs, that's thriving. And if you don't think operating margin is the best indicator to decide this, let's look at their net profit margin.
The disembodied girlfriend has arrived.
It's gone up from 28% right before the pandemic hit, all the way up to over 33% in 2024. Now this has led McDonald's to begin to take some drastic measures to try to convince customers they not only aren't being greedy, but also that they still can provide value.
No, they can't. No, they can't, because the value of a Big Mac is, oh, it's big, but it's still cheap and fast. It is neither cheap nor fast. And in terms of bigness, yeah, it's okay, but you've been in America, not in Europe. You've been making the patties thinner and thinner. You've been making the buns thinner and thinner. You've been putting fewer and fewer ingredients each time. So it's not even that big anymore. This idea that, oh, we could still give you a good product. No, you can't, because you're not.
Their menu.
Because if you could, you
more
would.
on that in a moment. This pattern isn't unique to McDonald's, though. Chipotle has
Yeah, but McDonald's is just like, oh, the pattern is unique to McDonald's. Yeah, but McDonald's is the biggest culprit of it.
reported record revenues fueled by menu price increases of nearly 15% over the last 2 years. In fact, during the making of this video, they just announced another
Raising U.S. prices, promising bigger portions.
2%
I guarantee the bigger portion is going to be like maybe 5% more meat, and the price increase is going to be like twice as much or more. And then in a few months, they're going to go back to the previous portions without saying anything about it.
pricing
Because that's what they always do.
increase to their menu, which brings the total
And that's assuming they even do the portion increase. They might not even do that.
number of price hikes to 7 times since 2021. And Chipotle technically isn't fast food and is more in the category of fast casual dining, but they still are a part of that food away from home stat that I provided from the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
And so we can still learn a lot about their
I'm sorry, show of fucking hands. Who here considers Chipotle fast food? Like, you think of fast food, Chipotle is in that category. Like, this bullshit. Oh, it's technically not fast food. Shut the fuck up. Move on.
recent financial performance over the years. Chipotle's net margin is higher now than ever before and has been steadily climbing since the pandemic. However, the margins did tank more
McDonald's had the same thing happen here. What happened in 2016? That's when Trump took office. Was that the only thing that happened in 2016 that caused, like, these companies to suffer? Because, I mean, McDonald's didn't have the same problem, but damn, what happened to Chipotle for their net margin to just tank? Was it just Trump?
and has been steadily climbing since the pandemic. However,
No, because the pandemic was here. It was already steadily climbing at around the same rate. From here to here, it climbed a little bit faster, but still.
now than ever before and has been steadily climbing since the pandemic.
No, that's not what's shown here. They were steadily climbing before. But they also kind of suffered a price drop when Biden took office, and then they went back up even faster. What happened here?
However, the margins did tank before the pandemic due to foodborne illness issues the company was facing.
Okay.
But if we also look at their revenue and net income, that has also been rising steadily since the last quarter of 2020. And here's the kicker. Chipotle's former CEO, Brian Niccol, earned over $17 million.
This is still a fifth of what... See, here's the thing. I don't mind when a CEO makes $20 million a year. I don't mind that. But if you're making $113 million and your prices keep increasing, and every time the price increases, all that profit goes directly into the pocket of the CEO, that immediately you cannot say, oh, we're increasing it because of these things. No, you're increasing it because your CEO wants more money.
In 2022 and over $22 million in 2023, including significant bonuses tied to the company's profitability. This is over 1,300 times the median pay of a Chipotle worker. Now, whether you think the CEO is worth 1,300 times the average worker or not,
Probably 1,300 times the average worker. Yeah, because here's the thing. Does the company only have 1,300 employees? That's the question to ask, right? You have one CEO. You have how many tens of thousands of employees, right? I don't mind when a CEO gets paid the same as 1,000 average workers. I don't mind that. I don't think anybody does. I think if you own that massive corporation, you too would want to make that much money. But the customer is still allowed to complain when bad business practice is thrown into the mix and people start actually not being able to afford food.
it's clear that they are making more money now than ever before. And Chipotle also just announced in July that they were authorizing a $400 million stock buyback.
Equity buyback, share repurchase program. See, I don't dislike this, and I think this is actually usually a good thing when companies buy back their stock from the market, because it brings them closer to being able to become privately owned, and privately owned companies tend to be run better.
Buyback program, essentially funneling excess cash back to shareholders instead of,
No, that's not what that means.
I don't know, reinvesting it into operations
They are investing it into owning their company.
or finding out ways to keep prices stable.
Of course, if the CEO of Chipotle is currently owned by the banks, then what we're actually seeing is the bank wanting to own more of Chipotle, which not a good thing, because it means that the prices will increase even faster in the future.
Additionally, Yum Brands, which owns Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut, instituted price hikes in 2023 and cited that it was a last resort option, while later that year clocking in a 21% increase in total revenue over its pre-pandemic.
See? When somebody says, oh, we need to increase prices, and then they report record profits, you go, I see, you're lying. That's it. It's not even like a maze, or there's no mental gymnastics. It is like step 1, step 2. They lied, they are liars.
Earnings. Now, since then, executives at the company have authorized a $2 billion share repurchase program.
The repurchasing of stocks is not a bad thing. It just allows the company to own itself without having to be slave to shareholders and stockbrokers and all of that stuff. The only thing that does is it ensures that the brand and the corporation can do whatever the fuck it wants with its product without having to constantly do shit like what you see Activision doing, right? Where Activision will announce, oh my god, the new Call of Duty sold twice as much as we thought it ever could, right? It beat all of our expectations. We made so much more money than we ever have. Oh my god, this is amazing. And then 1 month later, they fire half their employees because they didn't make enough profits. And why did they not make enough profit? Because the shareholders said they didn't make enough profit. And so they have to fire employees so that they can funnel that money towards the shareholders and claim, hey, we made better profit. So the stock value goes up and the shareholders are happy. By buying the stock back from the shareholders, you can actually get rid of that step.
Returning $678
unless, of course, I'm completely misunderstanding what it means to just buy the stock from the shareholders.
$1 million to its shareholders. Now, there's no
the shareholders do get that money, but the company gets the stock back.
Secret here that greater amounts of capital are being redirected to corporate level costs, such as C-level executive compensation. Now, critics argue.
Oh yeah, and absolutely. Like the more C-level executives you can get rid of, the better for your company.
That inflation has become a convenient excuse for these price hikes.
Yeah.
Yes, labor and ingredient costs are up.
No, they're not.
But why are executive salaries soaring at the same time?
Because that's where all of the money is being funneled to, not increased ingredient cost.
Why are companies...
Because while the ingredient cost did go up, it went back down.
...increasing ad budgets and launching multi-million-dollar stock buybacks while citing higher costs as the reason for passing price increases onto consumers? Now, in some cases...
Well, they're passing the price increases onto consumers because they want more money from the consumers.
The numbers suggest these companies are taking advantage of inflationary pressures to pad their profits. In fact, a recent analysis from the Economic Policy Institute found that corporate profits accounted for over 40% of price increases across several industries during the pandemic recovery period. Now, while fast food isn't singled out in this analysis,
fast food isn't singled out in the analysis, but it is one of the things that people, goddammit, it is one of the things that people notice the most easily because everybody eats fast food. It is the food of the common people. It's one of the reasons why people like Trump so much is because he eats so much fast food. He's like, oh, he's one of us.
It does seem to fit into this broader trend. This narrative has led to a huge disconnect from corporations to their consumers, particularly around their pricing and the value propositions they offer. But the interesting thing here is some of these companies are faring much better than others. Chipotle, for example, is continuing to grow in spite of their price hikes. And they also historically haven't offered any sort of value meal. While restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King...
Okay, but like Chipotle increased its price by what? I think we showed here. It was amongst. We're at 921. Chipotle increased it by 75%. Okay, never mind. I thought Chipotle was in the 50s margin. My bad.
Wendy's,
Stop
Taco
doing that.
Bell, and others are all trying to entice customers by trying to add more value deals to their menus.
Yeah, Chipotle is just saying, hey man, it's got a higher price, but more. You get more of it.
But of course, fast food chains have their side of the story too. They argued that these price hikes are a necessity,
They're not.
some evil
They're lying. Yes, they're not arguing that. They're lying about it.
choice. And their executives have pointed to some real pressures: rising wages, volatile supply chains, and of course inflation,
All of those are bullshit.
as reasons why fast food
Because here's the thing. The wage goes up 10 cents. Why does the meal go up $2? Right? Doesn't make sense. You're only paying that person an extra 10 cents per hour, and they are making a lot more than just one meal an hour each, right? So the idea that you need to increase the price by $2 because of a 10-cent wage increase is ridiculous. It makes no mathematical sense.
food just isn't as cheap as it used to be. Now, back in May of 2024, social media posts about an $18 Big Mac meal went so viral that McDonald's actually had to begin a campaign trying
Despite the revolt against high prices, companies are, and by the way, it wasn't $18. It wasn't $18. You're an actual fucking nincompoop. This is not $18. Also, what? Hey, disembodied girlfriend, come over here. Yes. I'm gonna close the camera. No. Like, look at these prices. Look at the prices. The camera's closed. You can step over here. Look at the price. Double quarter pounder with cheese. This is their equivalent of a Big Mac, basically. $18.99. That's almost 3 times the price it is here. Here is $7.30, and here it's 500 calories. Yes, it is. I can show you right here. Big Mac right here. I can show you right here. 500 calories. And in the US, this is a double quarter pounder with cheese. This is their it's their equivalent, basically. Do we even have a quarter pounder? Quarter pounder with cheese, Europe. What is it called in Europe? A hamburger royal. Okay, so let's see here then. Instead of let's go back to the website. We're going back to the website. Let me put this here. All products. Let's see here. We're just trying to look at the. Let's look at the menu. Big R. That's the big tasty McRoyal cheese. And the price is probably going to be the same. What are they putting in your food, bro? A 1 kilo kebab roll with drink costs like $10 less. Jesus Christ. Bro, Americans, I'm sorry to say, you're getting robbed, bro. You are getting robbed and poisoned. This is 3 times the calories.
Big Mac meal went so viral that McDonald's actually had to begin a campaign trying to debunk some of the myths that were being spread about their prices.
Double quarter pounder cheese here is 15 euros too for a meal. Bro, y'all gotta stay the fuck away from Portugal. I am not taking higher prices on fast food just because y'all want to come here. I'm telling y'all this shit. No. You can't come over. You can't come over. You stay over there.
Remember this graph from earlier?
You're getting robbed. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, well, McDonald's.
But by the way, like, so it's 15 in the Netherlands. What is the calorie count? If you can find that, let me know.
McDonald's disagrees with a lot of it. The nuance behind this is that while data on its own is rather objective, the way in which data can be presented often is very subjective, including this video here. However, in their blog post, McDonald's cited
McDonald's raised prices at a rate nearly double the national rate of inflation. This is false. It's actually almost triple. McDonald's raised prices so much that their average menu price increased more than 3 times the national rate of inflation. Correct. Well, not more than 3 times, almost 3 times. McDonald's price increases are the result of greed and price gouging. Yes. McDonald's Big Mac meal has increased in price by 104% since 2019. No, it's since 2014. That's what people are saying. They're not saying 2019. You are lying. McDonald's 10-piece McNuggets meal has increased 95.5% since 2019. False. Yes, because it's 2014.
bits of information
McDonald's fries, 2019. Nobody's been talking about 2019. That's the thing. It's always 2014.
from the article.
The number has always been 2014 that people are talking about. This is a very common manipulation tactic. You see a lot of people do a lot, and it's usually like the most manipulative motherfuckers you can see. So like Hassan does this shit, Destiny does this shit, all sorts of people do that. Usually it's Debate Bros, where it says, oh, you know, it's increased so much, like it's increased 100% since this date, and it's always the same. It's like 2014, 2014, 2014. We've been talking about 2014, 100% since 2014, 2014, 2014. What do they debunk? 2019, 2019, 2019. Since pre-pandemic, i.e. 2019. See? They're lying to you. Do not believe this shit. They are deceiving you, and if you fall for it, you're stupid.
Labeling them as myths.
754, 12 grams of sugar. Damn, brother.
Like, quote, McDonald's cited
Wait,
bits
wait,
of
wait.
information
Let's
from
see.
the article labeling them as myths.
See? It says here 2019 439, 2024 529. Just the burger itself. Why is it so much more expensive as a meal? What the fuck is wrong with you, brother?
Like, quote, McDonald's raised prices at a rate nearly double the national rate of inflation.
True.
And over in their facts section, trying to combat this, they mentioned that over the last 5 years, prices have increased around 40%.
Yes, and inflation has gone up 20%. Inflation.
Due to higher input costs such as salaries, food, and paper products. And while that may be very well true,
it's
the
not.
article cites McDonald's menu prices have doubled 100% since.
See, it's like I said, the date used was 2014, except they don't answer to 2014. They answer to 2019 because it looks much better.
2014.
You want to know what the real good thing that they could have done instead of this article? Nothing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just say nothing.
Across popular items.
Just put more sugar in them so it tastes better and people become more addicted to it.
Highest of any chain we analyzed. But you know, okay, let's just assume McDonald's was confused on this. And they cited from 2019.
They weren't confused. They weren't confused. We're not assuming that.
On as opposed to what the article says.
We're not going to assume that.
2014. So what about another myth? Well, once again, McDonald's cites the article quoting, McDonald's medium fries have increased by 138% since 2019.
Yes, but the article said 2014. What is the name of this creator? This creator is Established Context.
But McDonald's claims the truth is the average price of a medium fry in 2019 was $2.29, and now in 2024, the average price is $3.29.
What was the price in 2014?
Okay, well, the article actually says that the 138% increase is from 2014 to
So again, they lied.
2024.
There's no confusion,
not
it's just lying.
2019. Now, I could go on, but I think you're starting to get the point. Okay, but there are some who argue that rising wages are really the one to blame for high menu prices, claiming this trend of increased minimum wage could lead to job losses and widespread restaurant closures.
Liars. They're lying. They're lying. Because here's the thing. The minimum wage, I've already said this, the minimum wage increases by 10 cents and the meal price increases by $2. Doesn't make sense. That only makes sense if each person that is working at the restaurant, let's say that there's here in Portugal, there's usually like 2 people at the counter, 3 people in the kitchen. Let's increase that number to 6. 6 people working for an hour. That means there is a 60-cent increase in per hour labor costs. Why the fuck did the meal increase $2? Are you only selling 1 meal per hour? You're not. You're probably selling 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes up to 20, if not a lot more than that during lunch rushes. I'm not even talking about lunch rushes, right? So this idea that you need to increase it that much is ludicrous. It makes no sense. The only way it makes sense is if you stop assuming that they're doing it because they need to, and assume that they are doing it because they want an increase in profit margins. Then it makes sense.
However, the evidence suggests otherwise. Economists at the Economic Policy Institute have extensively researched this issue and found that higher wages would likely have the opposite effect, modestly stimulating consumer demand, boosting business activity, and creating job growth. Okay, but what about fast food prices? Are they rising because of higher wages? Well, yes, but not entirely for the reasons you might think.
They're rising because of the higher wage of the CEO.
Price increases in the fast food industry are part of a long-standing trend, not a sudden phenomenon caused by wage hikes. Because while the Consumer Price Index for all items rose by 3.2% between April 2022 and April 2023, fast food prices surged 5.2%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Meanwhile, the cost of groceries increased by only 1% during that time. But that was then, and this is now, and fast food has been getting desperate over the last year. McDonald's has had to really try to entice customers with their nationwide $5 value meal.
Wasn't the dollar value meal $2? Because it was $1 for the burger and another $1 for the fries and the Coke. And by the way, $5, pick one, fuck you. $5, I'm getting all that's on that tray. I'm getting 2 burgers, I'm getting fries, I'm getting nuggets, and I'm getting a fucking drink for $5. What the fuck are you talking about? Pick one, fuck you.
And many competitors have followed suit. Burger King offered their $5 meal, Wendy's did a $4 meal deal, and Taco Bell launched a $3 value deal, all in an attempt to increase traffic to their stores.
Here's the thing. $3. What do you get out of this for $3? Is it this? Is it one of these things? It's like, what is the thing that you get for the $3?
Bell launched a $3 value deal, all in an attempt to increase traffic to their stores. Now, it's clear they have a real problem on their hands, not only in terms of general
Yeah, the problem is that people are realizing they're getting robbed.
Sentiment around their value proposition.
Sales are sliding at KFC and Burger King as fast food chains keep struggling. This looks unappetizing as hell.
But also in regards to pricing. But fast food companies also have to reckon with fast casual offerings eating away at their market share. Chipotle, Cava, and Sweetgreen have all reported a much different outlook on this matter. And while yes, they typically
So wait, say that again? Okay, so for $5, you get a taco, a quesadilla. Okay, she's sending me a picture of the $5 value meal here in Portugal.
attract a higher income cohort, it's not only them that are buying these products. Cava, the Mediterranean chain, only raised prices 12% from 2019 to 2023. And as a result, they reported increases to their top and bottom lines. Now, of course, they have a much smaller footprint.
It's almost like lower prices make more people buy the product. Almost, you know, it's like, it's insane that it makes no sense, right? Like, how come more people are buying our product? We've increased our profit margins by lowering prices. It makes no sense.
than McDonald's, but when that Big Mac is contesting the prices of some of these fast casual offerings, it seems like an inevitable shift is bound to occur here. And even casual sit-down restaurants like Applebee's and Chili's are getting involved into this value war. Chili's 3 for meat meal deal for $10.99 has
3 for meat for $10.99.
created a resurgence in traffic to their restaurants.
Because it's a fair price. It's a fair and good price. Of course it's going to cause people to come
resulting
back.
in their foot traffic soaring 33%, which capped off 6 straight months of increases. So are the higher prices just the costs of doing business?
No.
I don't see how one could come to that conclusion with how much profits have increased over the last 5 years for most of these chains. To me, this does seem like some good old-fashioned corporate greed, masked in layers of manipulation.
No, it's not layers, it's just a single blanket.
And excuses. And now for fast food places like McDonald's, Burger King.
So, for $4, you get this, and this. Okay. $5, you get an additional ice cream. And for $6, you get also a taco. Yeah, that seems pretty fair. That seems pretty good.
And others, customers not only have to battle with higher prices, but also with the lack of convenience and quality of the food itself. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, infinite growth is the goal.
Way to show Wall Street, because that's all that is to blame. It's purely off the stock market. It's purely because of debt. It's purely because of that.
And the fiduciary duty to shareholders comes before customers, employees, suppliers, or vendors. But it is really interesting to see how some companies simply choose to operate differently while still achieving success.
Usually the companies that operate with a customer-first mentality are the ones who succeed.
If you want to learn about a
And by usually, I mean every single time.
prime example, I covered the story of Costco and the interesting approach they've taken to capitalism. You can
Yeah, it's like, for those who don't know, the Costco CEO became kind of internet famous because one of his shareholders walked up to him. I think it was a shareholder or maybe just somebody high up on the company and said, "Hey, we're losing money on the hot dog because it's only $1.50, so we need to increase the price." And you know what the guy responded to him? The guy looked him dead in the eye and said, "If you increase the price of that hot dog by even a single cent, I will kill you." And what did that do? That caused a resurgence in foot traffic. That increased the amount of hot dogs they sold. That increased their profit. Because here's the thing that a lot of these companies don't understand. It's okay to lose money on a product if that product is bringing people into the store. By bringing more and more people into the store, you sell other products, you make money off of other products. It's like Twitch for Amazon, right? Twitch isn't a profit maker. Twitch is a customer maker. Twitch creates part of the ecosystem that ensures that people never move out of the Amazon ecosystem, and so they're always in it, right? You're always seeing things that you can donate money on Twitch, which, that's some money that goes into Amazon, even if it's not a lot, right? Because here's the thing. 100% of the money put into Twitch is not lost, right? I'm pretty sure they're like making 80 to 90% of the money back, which means that Twitch Prime, which is a part of Amazon Prime, hey, I guarantee there's a ton of people who get Amazon Prime because of Twitch. I guarantee there's a bunch of people who donate subs on Twitch. I guarantee there's a bunch of people who stay in the Amazon ecosystem because of Twitch, and that increases Amazon's profits. Even though it doesn't increase Twitch's profits, it increases Amazon's, right? And so this loss that they're suffering creates winnings elsewhere. But this isn't the case with fast food companies, right? Like, they make plenty of money off of just selling their meals. So let me know your thoughts down below, if you have any, of course. Some people have no thoughts, and that's perfectly fine. I love you just the same. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy the video. Both of those help, actually. If you think that I can improve, leave a dislike. Tell me how. But if you enjoy the video, you want to watch more of it, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Cheers.